Okay, part 2 of the chevron relief stitch. Now, just to recap, this is row 6. I have not done my row 7, which is your wrong side single crochet row. I thought we would just double check and recap what we did at the end of the first part of the tutorial. We had done half double crochet 3, 2 front post double crochets, 5 half doubles, 2 front post, 5 half doubles, 2 front post, 5 half doubles. Let's double check our stitch count. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, there's 24. Okay, so we have our 24 stitches. So what you want to do is you want to do your chain 1, turn, and do your single crochets on your wrong side row. And I will meet you back here. Okay, we have our 24 stitches, single crochets, row 7. We're now going to go on to row 8. So let's see what it has to say. Row 8 is chain 2, turn, half double crochet in the first 4 single crochets, work front post double crochet around the post of the stitch below twice, half double crochet in the next 5 single crochets, work post double crochet around the post of the stitch below. So we're just repeating this until you get to the last 4 single crochets, and you're going to do half doubles. As you can see, this is developing a pattern. So we're going to do our chain 2, and we're going to turn, and we're going to half double crochet in the first 4 single crochets. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do our front post double crochets. So again, just like I said, an easy way that I find it's easy to remind myself, we're going to skip this first front post double crochet, and that will be our first front post double crochet that we do, because it seems to be the pattern. That's how you're going to get your increase decrease on your chevron. So we're going to do our first front post double crochet, and then our second front post double crochet. Five half doubles. Check to make sure. 1, 2 single crochet. I skip those 2 chains. That's my first half double, and we'll do our 5 half doubles, and then our 2 front post double crochets, 5 half doubles, 2 front post double crochets, and I'll meet you back for the last 4 stitches. Okay, I'm done. I did my last 2 front post double crochets. So if I look back here, and there's my 2 single crochets, that will be my first half double crochet. There should be 4 stitches. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it works out. So I'll do my 4 half double crochets, and then that will finish off this row, row 8. Then you will chain 1, turn, and row 9 is an odd row, wrong side row, and you will do your single crochets across. I will meet you back here for row 10. Okay, I did my single crochet, did my chain 2, and turned. So let's see what row 10 has to say. Row 10 is chain 2, half double crochet in the first 5, work front post double crochet around the post of the stitch below, next single crochet twice. Then we half double crochet in the next 5, work front post, double crochet in the next single crochet twice, repeat from the star across to the last 3 single crochets. And we are going to half double crochet in those last 3 single crochets. If you look, you can see the pattern. You're increasing on your first half double crochets you do. If you look at the pattern here, it was 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're decreasing on the last section of your half double crochets. See, 3, 4, 5, and always between your front post double crochets there's always 5 half doubles. So let's go on to row 10. So it tells us to half double crochet in the first 5 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that brings us, if you notice, there's our first front post double crochet from the previous row. So we're going to skip that one and we're going to go right there. There's our first front post double crochet, our second front post double crochet. As the pattern says, we will be doing 5 half doubles. Make sure we skip our 2 chains and do our 5 half doubles. I'm just double checking there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do your front post double crochets, 5 half doubles, 2 front post doubles, and then you will have 3 half double crochets in your last 3 stitches. I'll meet you at the end and we'll see if we got our proper stitch count. Okay, I'm down to the end here. I should have 3 single crochets. Let's turn our work. There's 1, 2, and if you while you have it flipped over, you can see you have 3 single crochets left. So you're going to do your half doubles in those last 3 single crochets. Then you know you will chain 1, turn, and you will do your single crochet row on your wrong side, row 11. Make sure you continue to check your stitch count as you go. Make sure you continue to maintain 24 stitches. And I will see you back here for row 11. Okay, I finished my row 11 of the single crochets, and we shall see now on to row 12. Row 12 says chain 2, turn, half double crochet in the first 6 single crochets. Then we're going to work our front post double crochet around the post of the stitch below of the next single crochet. We're going to do that twice. 5 half double crochets. Then we're going to repeat the 2 front post double crochets, and then repeat the 5 half double crochets. Repeat that sequence one more time, and then we will half double crochet in the last 2 single crochets. So this around here. So let's chain 2, turn, and it told us to half double crochet in the first 6 single crochets. So There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to do our 2 front post double crochets. Skip that one there. Go around that front post double crochet for your first one, and then do your second front post double crochet. Get some more yarn here. Okay. Get all untangled here. I'm filming this one on the camcorder because the first part of the tutorial is uploading on YouTube right now, and I have to keep the SD card in the computer. So, back to our sequence. So we're going to look here, and we're going to find our... Okay. There's the last 2 front post double crochets. Let's turn our work and look. There's the 2 chains behind the front post double crochets, which leaves us 2 stitches, which are your 2 half double crochets, which will complete row 12. And then you will go ahead and chain 1, turn, and do your row 13 of single crochets. And I will see you back here to do row 14. Okay, that finishes up row 13. If you look at the front of your block, you can see the chevron goes up. That is the first half of the chevron. Now we're going to be getting into row 14 through 22, which is the chevron repeating itself, and we're going to decrease and go back the other way. And it's basically you're just repeating row 10, 8, 6, and 4. So we will go ahead and we will begin our decreasing. So let's see what it says on row 14. Says repeat row 10. Well, row 10 was chain 2, 5 half double crochets, work your front post double crochets twice, half double crochet in the next 5 double crochets, work that across to the last 3 stitches, and you half double crochet in the last 3 single crochets. So let's do that. We'll chain our 2, and we'll turn, and we will half double crochet in the first 5 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to do our front post double crochets. Now, I want you to notice, we're going to count our stitches over. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see where this stitch is located, okay? It's 1 stitch. The first front post double crochet is going to go in front of 1 stitch before that front post. And you'll see how your pattern will begin to establish itself again. So we're going to do our front post double crochet, and your second front post double crochet is going to go around your first front post double crochet from the previous row. And this is where you'll get the chevron turn in. See? And then you look behind, skip 2, do your 5 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to do 2 front post half double crochets again. Look for the stitch right before that front post. That's where your first one's going to go. Your second one goes around that first front post double crochet from the previous row. And what are we going to do? Skip 2, and we're going to do our 5 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 5. Locate the first stitch before that front post double crochet right here. This is where you'll put your first front post. Your second front post is around that front post double crochet, and then the pattern tells us that we should have 3 single crochets left. So look on the back. I'll get that out of your way here so you can see. There's 1, 2 skip, and there's our 3 last stitches that we're going to half double crochet into. 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 1. We're going to turn, and we're going to do our single crochets on our wrong side row. That doesn't change, and I will meet you back here for row 16. Okay, we finished our row 15. Row 16 says to repeat row 8, so we'll go back up here and look at row 8. Chain 2 and turn. We're going to half double crochet in our first 4 single crochets. Then we're going to work our pattern. Front post double crochet around the next 2 single crochets, half double crochet in the next 5 single crochets, and then repeat that sequence 2 more times until you get to the last 4 single crochets, and you're going to half double crochet in those. So I will meet you back here. Well, let's just do the first one together. Getting ahead of myself there. So we're going to do our chain 2, turn, and we're going to half double crochet in the first 4 single crochets. And if you've noticed, you're getting your pattern. If you see it, the increase and the decrease. Now on this, we're just reversed. We are decreasing on the first part of the row and increasing on the second part of the row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do our front post double crochet. Locate that stitch right in front of your front post double crochet. Do your first front post double crochet. Your second one goes around the next front post double crochet, and then we will do our 5 half double crochets, skipping the 2 chains behind. And there we go, I ripped out my front post double crochets. Let's do that again. Like we said, there's no editing here. We make mistakes, they're right on screen, you get to see them. So we'll redo our front post double crochets. Turn your work, locate the 2 that you're going to skip. That's where your first half double crochet is going to go into. as I can find my loop here. And I'll do my 5 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Locate that stitch. Make sure we have our 5 half double crochets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. There's 5. Front post double crochet. Oops. See, I almost went one stitch too soon, too late. That's that stitch right before that front post double crochet. And then we go here. This one's going to go around the first front post double crochet of the previous row. Then you're going to do your 5 front post double crochets, 2 front post double crochets, 5 half doubles, 2 front posts, and then you should have 4. The last 4 stitches should be half double crochets. So I'll meet you when we get down to the last 2 front posts. Okay, we're down to our last 2 front post double crochets. If we turn it over, there's our 2 that we skip. We should have 4. There's 1, 2. So what did we do wrong here? 1, 2. Okay, well, I miscounted my stitches somewhere. So let's see. 1, 2. Well, I did it again. Up here. See here? There's 1, 2, 3, which threw me off for the rest of the row. So I've got to go back and redo that. So while I'm doing that, I'm just going to pause this here, and I will catch up to you to the last 4 stitches. Okay, I went back and corrected that. That's why it's so important, I said, to check and make sure you're only skipping the 2 chains behind the front post double crochets. So here's my last 2 front post double crochets. There's the 2 I skip. I should have 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's so easy to do because that one chain a lot of times will hide itself behind that front post double crochet. So you have to just be diligent, do your due diligence, and check your stitches and look behind. You know, an extra second or 2 saves you a whole lot of frogging. And our last half double crochet. I'm going to show you so you can see here. You're beginning to see where I'll get this up here with my pocket. You're beginning to see how your chevron come up this way. Now we're starting to go back that way. So go ahead and chain 1, turn, and do your single crochet row for row 17, and we come back, we'll do row 18. Okay, we finished row 17, so we're going to go to row 18. It says repeat row 6, so let's go up to row 6 here. It says chain 2, half double crochet in the first 3. We're going to work our sequence. 2 front post double crochets twice, half double crochet in the next 5 single crochets, repeat that all the way across. So chain our 2 and turn, half double crochet in the first 3 single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do our front post double crochets. Locate that stitch before the front post double crochet, your first double crochet. Second one goes around that first front post double crochet of the row below. Then we'll do our first 5 half double crochets. Make sure we're over here. we're going to skip 1, 2, and that's where we're going to put our first half double crochet. Should get it right this time, not have to frog it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my front post, stitch before it, half double crochet, excuse me, front post double crochet, your second front post double crochet. We're going to skip the 2 chains behind, these 2 here, 1, 2, and then our first half double crochet goes into there. So we're going to do 5, repeat the 5, do your 2 front post double crochets, and then you're going to have no extra stitches left on this row. This is the one where it will repeat itself all the way across. So it's 5 half doubles, 2 front post, 5 half doubles, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, we have completed row 18. Row 19 will be chain 1, single crochet, turn, single crochet across for row 19. Row 20, when we come back, is going to be a repeat of row 4, and we'll be just about done. But if you look, you can see, if you look here, how your chevron is starting to go back over. So go ahead and do your row 19 of single crochet, and I will meet you back here for row 20. Okay, row 20 is repeat row 4. This is our last row that will repeat. Row 4 was chain 2, half double crochet in the first 2 single crochets. Then we're going to work our front post double crochet twice. Make sure we skip the 2 single crochets behind the front post double crochets. Half double crochet in the next 5 double crochets. Repeat that across to the last single crochet, and you'll half double crochet in that. So let's do our last repeat. So do your chain 2 and turn, and then we will half double crochet in the first 2 single crochets. Excuse me there, pardon me, clear my throat. So there's 1, 2. Okay. And if you notice, there's your first front post double crochet. There's a stitch beside in front of it, and that's where we're going to place our first front post. And the next one should be a front post double crochet. There it is. And our second front post double crochet will go around that. And we'll just kind of turn your work a little bit. Look for those 2 chains to skip. There's your stitch. You'll put your first half double crochet in. We already know that I've done it a couple times today. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. And there's 5. Okay. Now we should locate the stitch, and there's our double front post double crochet from the last row. 1 stitch in front of it, which is where we'll place our first front post double crochet. And I'm hooking on my stitch. Doesn't want to go through there. Try and look through the screen here. And then your second front post double crochet, we'll go around that previous front post double crochet. And then what are we going to do? That's right, 5 half doubles, skipping those 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and do our 5 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there is front post, stitch before it. So we will do our front post. Our second front post. I almost did front post around the same front post I just did. Oops, went on camera there. Out of frame. A little bit more yarn. I'm just going to make it with this little scrap ball yarn. Now we're going to make sure we skip 1, 2, and we should have, let's see, we did 1, 2, okay, I decided to check something. I was right. And then we do our 5 half double crochet, skip 1, skip 2, and that's where our 5 half double crochets will go into. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you remember, it said we would have 1 stitch left, and that was a half double crochet. Okay, that is the completion of your chevron relief part of this block. The next 2 rows are basically, you'll chain your 1, do your single crochet, then you'll chain 2, turn, and do your half double crochet, so it's just like your first 2 in the bottom here. But that is what, and there is your chevron relief. So I'm hoping that this explained it a little bit better than the previous video, since we went all the way through all of the rows and the repeat rows to get your finished product. But that's what it looks like. Let me pull this back out a little bit. That is what your block should look like. There's your chevron. And you can see, I was crocheting tighter in that one, but you can see there, they look the same. I just crocheted like looser in this one. This one here, being on camera, I crochet tighter because I'm trying to look over top of the camcorder. So that is it for the Block 8 Chevron Relief stitch. And I hope you had a little bit of help on reading a pattern. I will be having more tutorials. Right now there's 1 video uploading. This is the 2nd video uploading, and I have a 3rd video to do today. I think the next tutorial I'll be doing is for the seed stitch and a couple of other mid-intermediate videos that won't take long. At least you'll have those for the blocks. If you have a specific block, as I have said before, please leave it in the comments below, and I will try to get a tutorial up about that. So, again, here's your Block 8, your chevron relief, and I hope this clarified and helped anybody that was having difficulty with this block. See you in the next video. Bye for now.